The Marlins obviously traded Luis Ariz to the Padres, but who's next? Because this team's about to go on a huge fire sale. Luis Ariz has been shipped off to the Padres for a haul of prospects. So just out of curiosity, who do you guys think is going to be the next person out? There's quite a lot of people. Houdini, you said that they don't have a lot of assets, but I think that there's some players here that if they get on a little bit of a hot streak, some teams might be interested at the trade deadline.
Yeah, for me, it's Josh Bell. And I know he's off to a rough start. He's hitting a $197, but I'll take a switch hitting first baseman any day of the week with power. I'll live with the strikeouts if the extra base hits happen. And he could be a guy that just needs a change of scenery. He's been a perennial guy of being, a 240 hitter, with some jacks. Like I would take that if I'm in need of, a first baseman that, can provide some power in the middle of the lineup.
I mentioned Jake Berger just a minute ago. I think he's another candidate right there. 30, 35 home run potentially, just did it last year in Chicago. Has performed and hit pretty decently since arriving to Miami too. So I think he's absolutely next on the block. And I think I'm hearing reports too. I think I saw something Jazz is probably going to be the next one out.
I think that would shock the Marlins world if they did trade the face of their franchise. The only reason I don't seeing this happen is because of his off the field issues. He's lazy. He has questionable leadership. These are all things that have been reported about him. He's also currently batting .220 with a negative WAR, so maybe someone takes a flyer on him, but they're not going to get a hefty return. I think that the Marlins think that they'll get for their big face of their franchise. I don't think that it's going to be a big haul of prospects. I think the asking price for him needs to be very low at this point. But the one guy that I want to say, Tanner Scott. He's a left-handed pitcher in their bullpen and a valuable reliever for any ball club down the road. He has a sub-3 ERA right now, and he had a sub-2.5 ERA last season. Good lefty relievers are a premium in this market, so look for him to be out on the trade block. I want to say Jesus Luzardo, and it's probably foolish of me to say no because he probably is going to be traded because it is the Marlins we're talking about here. But because he has so much controllability, I just feel like the Marlins might hold on to him to make him the centerpiece stone of this rebuild, but it wouldn't shock me at all if they trade him. But I do think that they need to definitely get something in return for him just because of how much of control that they have left of him. Not off to a great start right now, 6 ERA, but he was the talk of the offseason. The Yankees were heavy in those talks. Other teams were too. I believe the Orioles were too.
And he's still in the IL. He's still in the IL. So he's got to come back and pitch a couple times to even boost any sort of value to him, but the return for him will be extremely high. Yeah, I'm telling you that right now. It will be extremely high.
It needs to be, just because pitching's always a premium. He's a lefty that has something to say about it. Yeah, I just feel like, especially too, I feel like if he gets out of that Marlins scene, if he goes on a good team that has good defense, his numbers are going to improve too.
He'll get run support. Yeah, no, exactly. I'm definitely. Like I think I didn't pick him because I thought that was just the elephant in the room that eventually he'll get dealt. So, and they should deal him. To be honest with you, your cornerstone is probably Edward Cabrera. Get rid of Luzardo and get a massive haul. But you got to get 2 or 3 MLB guys that are ready either this year or next year.
Absolutely. And then the last person, I guess, there that we haven't mentioned, Tim Anderson, off to a really bad start. I actually don't think that he gets traded. I think that he more gets DFA'd. Or maybe not because the Marlins are so bad they won't DFA him. I don't see a world where anybody wants Tim Anderson right now. Again, off the field issues, bad leadership, a troublemaker, and he sucks.
Yeah.
Not a good recipe for what you'd want for a ball club.